I don't want to say I inspired this little mini tape or whatever to drop. I mean, it just so happens I dropped that perfect album for Drake video, and then all of a sudden we get another, little project coming, and then all of a sudden, boom, I'm not saying nothing about nothing. It's just, I don't think I've been more excited for a drop because it came out of nowhere. I wasn't expecting it. I wasn't looking forward to it. I knew he was going to drop an album sometime this year, but with quarantine and everything going on, I didn't know when anything was coming. So when this happened to just spread as like a little rumor or whatever, it just felt real. It felt genuine, like Six God was watching over me. I felt a presence when I first heard that this project was dropping before the confirmation came out. So I'm like, yo, this is a little eerie right now because I don't feel like I should be feeling this confident that this thing is actually gonna come, and it came. This thing being right here is so invasive, but like, it works. We've heard Chicago Freestyle, When to Say When. We heard that trash joint with him and Future. Not the D4L Freestyle. I haven't heard that one yet. I'm talking about the other one. I think it was Desires. There was another one on here called War that I wasn't very fond of. It was kind of UK drill inspired. I wasn't really a big fan of Drake in that bag. But I've been looking so forward to 1993 Pain, or Pain 1990. I've been looking forward to that for months. Drake is probably the only artist that can get men out of their seat and have them waiting to see what he drops like women do for like the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Drake is in his housewives bag right now, and I like it.
Everything we build and they must bleed. I've seen splatter hit the snow and the blood freeze.
Why is this nigga always seeing something? I've seen, stop looking.
My shorty really love me, man. She want me to cut keys. I need plenty. Got me ready to flip the F out like Fendi.
Oh yeah, I like this. I like this version where he's like overlooking his past. It seems like he's talking about his early 20s, obviously, and then he goes into this other spiel. But at least right now, the ambiance of this track is very spaced out, and like he's reminiscing, like he's looking and peering into a version of his old self.
Pockets on a nigga, I can't find my phone in. Now we rolling.
First track, I like it. I don't really know. It's standard Drake shit at this point. Where he talks about kind of his life, but almost like in a melancholic way. Like, am I supposed to feel bad for this? Like, I'm not 100% sure. Like, everything that he's talking about is like something that he understands, but it's something that like I don't really think many of his audience can probably relate to at the moment. And as far as chasing dreams is concerned, I'm sure they can, identify with that struggle that Drake might have been reminiscing about in this song. But I don't know why it's delivered in such a melancholic way when it seems like nothing but W's and victories. Though I still like it, it's almost like, do I feel bad that you made it or something? Like, I don't know. But that was the first track. I like it. When to Say When in Chicago Freestyle. We've already seen my initial thoughts on those. And the next one is Not You Too with Chris Breezy. Oh, shit. Oh, my God. No, you hear the way he came in. Whoa. Quarantine about to end early, man. No, I need this.
I'm in a long time.
Oh my God.
Even when I'm in the booth, I'll trust who. Make you feel the weight off your shoulders.
It's over. Why is Chris Brown background singing for Drake? I'm not ready for Chris Brown to come in here. See, Chris Brown has also been getting a ton of hate lately. I don't know why. This is why certain media doesn't matter. But he's been getting hate for, rightfully so. I get the type of person the dude is, but I'm not going to try to sit here and deny the dude's talent. Like, him coming in on a track like this may literally shake someone's brain. Oh my Lord. This is fucking insane. Not You Too is great. This is a really annoying track, though, because honestly, Chris Brown should have been a little bit more prominent in this track. But the track itself is great. Not You Too being a fantastic way to say, I don't know how to say fantastic, but it is a really good way and a brief way to say, not you too, you broke my heart too. I thought you would never do this to me. It is a little melodramatic for Drake at his age as well, but honestly, if you propose and the girl that you said it to or the woman you said it to, said no, and you just, but that's really your fault. But at the same time, you got to take risks. You got to shoot your shots. But that's a long That's not really a long shot though. If you already been, well, whatever, man. I'm not about to sympathize with Drake getting his heart broken again. Okay, if this keeps happening, you need to change your approach. All right, that's just all that means. But this track is great. All right, I love this track. Melancholic. There's the sound effects that kind of sound like an ambulance in the background, but like really low tone. I know it doesn't make any sense, but it's like dun 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 dun. Like somebody broke his heart and he's in the back of a truck on his way to the hospital, and while he's writing at the same time. It would never happen, but that's just how I feel about this. Dark, late night, spacey environment. Chris Brown should have been more prominent, but it's still a good track. Toosie Slide, we've already heard that one. I do somewhat enjoy Toosie Slide. It's not the greatest track in the world. It's not the worst track in the world. It's tolerable. Desires with Future, I don't like that track. Both the cuts with Drake and Future recently have just been missed for me, but I've already explained my thoughts on those. It's just been kind of lackluster. And Time Flies is track number 7, okay?
Baby girl, you know me. Still with the dogs that I grew beside. All the niggas around me.
What is this dude's problem? Drake just has a thing, man. And again, it'll get to a point where you have to literally make a point and make Drake the foundation for your point if you don't like music like this. Because if you don't, I doubt that he's gonna change it at this point, right? Like he's been specializing in this type of way for a minute now. So it's like if you don't like it at this point, I don't think there's anything you can do to make you like it. You know, it's just something that, okay, you're either into it or you're not. But if you don't like it, you can't not like one individually because there's a whole like plethora of these types of Drake tracks. But I love this one. It's not as annoying as the Kiki, but it still has that like catchiness, that little TT. Like everyone's gonna say it, and this is leaks, right? This is just a bunch of demos.
Girl, you know me.
Oh, that's in my head. It's in my head. It's over.
I just caught a shorty off a Finsta.
Caption worthy. You're not about to have me making eyes to my microphone at your voice, Drake. It's not happening. Okay, I almost did it, but it's not gonna happen.
You wish it stayed the same for you. Sorry.
So this is probably one of the first instances of a cut that sounds pretty rough, sounds pretty unfinished. But I like the idea here, and I think that's what a good portion of this tape really is. It's just Drake messing around with more so ideas that he may not have finished completely. And some of them sound like good. I think that, you know, pigeonholing yourself to a particular sound in a track might leave you a little bit more rigid by the end of it, which is why Drake, to me, can sometimes sound like really low effort and really low energy on a lot of the cuts that he's been releasing that are finished, because he's forced himself into a certain way of rapping or a certain way of singing on some of them. Here, it just seems like he's a little bit looser, a little bit freer, not really as calculated. You know, it just seems like it's more coming off the dome, more coming off, you know, what is the word I'm looking for? He's more coming off genuine here. So yeah, like I like those versions of Drake more. I like when he's just in his element. You know, this is more so based off of probably a single emotion that he captured in the moment. And, you know, like, oh, I'm just going to do this track because I feel this way right now. And I'm going to let my feeling talk for me as opposed to thinking about it. Another good cut, though. Landed at track number 8. No. This beat is insane. The way the drop came in, yo, that is some insane fuckery right there. What is wrong with this dude? What does that sound like? I gotta listen to it again. It sounds like... No, it don't sound like that. I gotta listen to it again. No, I don't. It's reminding me of like some Schoolboy Q, Dope Dealer with E40, or it's this other track. I can't think of it. Pretty sure it's Work For It. Without those, I guess though, I don't remember if those were like some really eerie synths in the background for Work For It off Big Sean and 2 Chainz, that DJ Khaled record from 4 years ago. I don't remember if that's what it was, but it's hitting me. Those drums are like really knocking just like that.
This with the Cartier pen, do I sound different?
Yeah.
Overseason, but why they playing with them? I was not finna let them get no top billing. Bought that girl a shovel cause she gold digging. If he talking out his head, then it's off with it. I just met a friend and now I close off.
All right, now he kind of rapping like, you know, new age low rapper, one of the Lils. It's not like terrible to rap like that. It's just it's really coming off the dome at this point. It's sounding like it's coming off the top. You know, it's not sounding like it's like very written. You know, and I like that to a degree. But then I remember this dude is like early 30s. Like, come on, like do a little bit better than that. All right.
In and out arenas like I'm Scottie Pippen.
Yeah. It lost its sting pretty early because of the way Drake's rapping was. I think his delivery was hard, the beat was hard, but lyrically, I don't think he was really there enough for him to be like the star player. Even though he is, it's just not really sticking like that. Ironically, he's not really sticking the landing with his delivery because his lyrics are just so up in the air, just don't really mean much. They're pretty vapid, so it's okay. But again, it could have been better. D4L. This is the freestyle that Future posted with Drake and Young Thug. So let's see what this sounds like. This shit about to go so crazy. Oh my fucking goodness. Oh, that's like I feel it, bro. Like just the way you are. I completely ruined the melody on that. What song was I trying to sing? I cannot have Thug controlling this entire shit. Yo, Thug is about to go crazy. I don't really care about anybody else on this beat. Thug is about to demolish this track. Oh my god, I'm so excited, man. I'm so happy right now in this very moment. Even in quarantine, all right? We got 2 weeks left, okay? If there's an extension, I'm leaving. I like it. I love everything that's going on right now. Huge pet peeve at the moment. Drake is not EQ'd at the same level that Thug is. The mix is a little bit off, and I can hear it, and it's really fucking bothering me, and I don't like it. The song is great so far, though, but that's the part right there that's really, really bothering me. Thug should have went first before anybody else. There shouldn't have been a hook or a chorus in the beginning or whatever that was. Future should have went last, low-key, or just doing the hook, and Thug should have had the first verse. That's all I'm gonna say.
Started seeing spaceships. Whoa, we just started fucking. She impatient. I got all. I'm your daddy.
I like it. Again, I like it. It has so much more potential though, and I would have loved to hear Thug on majority of it. Future had a really cool last verse. Drake was going pretty well. Again, it's just the mix on that was really bothering me. I had to like change the ears. I had to change my ears almost to like adjust to Drake's voice and then adjust back to Thug when he came in. I know it probably doesn't ruin it for anyone else, and that's fine. And it doesn't ruin it for me. It's really small, but it's really big at the same time. I'm not worried about their lyrics from the screenshot that Future shared. It was literally just a freestyle, so I'm not really expecting too much. But yeah, I definitely think Thug, I would have loved for him to have a little bit more personality on that track. But the beat is insane. You know, their deliveries are pretty great. So I really don't have much to say about it in a negative light, but those few things really did hold it back from being like an amazing track for me. But it is great. It is great. It's still great. Pain 1993 is the moment I've been waiting for months. I first heard this as a snippet on a little SoundCloud link, I think maybe 4 months ago. And when it first came out, I heard Drake on the hook, and I'm like, he kind of sounds like what Carti would do, but he actually kind of sounds okay with it. You know, it doesn't sound bad, and it sounds like a Pierre Bourne beat from what I remember. I'm not sure.
She got to move with a friend.
I'm waiting for my hook.
Sitting sideways, breaking tents. Used to be an antisocial in my city, man. I keep their pockets greased up. Me and Capo trying to leave our mark and
Yo, I'm telling you, Buddy is just going. I love this. Delivery, vocally, he's not really changing his inflections like that, but he's going. There's just a constant energy being given to this track, even if it's flatline and it's not moving in any particular direction. I love that this track has an energy consistent so far. I love that. I just do. That's one of my highlights for the leak that I was listening to 3 months ago or so, and I'm just hearing him say, I put some ice in the hand, I put some ice in the hand, I put some ice in the hand. That's all I was listening to and hearing. No way this man can ruin this, okay? I've been waiting on this for too long. I already like the track. Really, whatever Carti does, he can't make it too much worse. This is or should be his bag, so I don't really think that he shouldn't be able to tackle this with flying colors. He's not doing terrible from what I just heard, the little bit so far, but let's see. This This nigga trash, dog. I'm sorry, he trash. Like bro, like all you had to do was go at the same momentum that Drake gave to the track. You had to just match his pace. Okay, even if you wanted to completely change up your vocal inflection and sound like a baby with diaper rash, which is exactly what you sound like, you could have legitimately just sped up your flow, made yourself a little bit more energized while doing whatever it is that you're doing. The ad-libs make you like trickle off beat, so your voice is a little grating. It's not matching the tone of the beat. You have a completely different and separate flow from the actual like track. Your atmosphere feels off. Like, I just don't understand, man. Like, and this is his bag. This is his lane. It sounds like Pure Born. It sounds like a Carti track.
Niggas ain't gotta respect.
Yeah, I didn't need Carti. I said that Carti couldn't ruin it, and he doesn't, but I'm skipping his part every time I come to this song, man. They need to do on this what they did with Young Thug with Ecstasy, and it came to Machine Gun Kelly. Take his verse off. Track number 11 is Losses.
Was here when you was asking where the love at. Dip your finger in the bag to get.
This is good, man. I'm liking this, really. I think Drake is really in his element right now, catching vibes, catching his momentum, catching his highs, and just living in his aesthetic a little bit more than before. He doesn't sound nearly as polished or as refined. Even though this track does sound a little bit cleaner, kind of closer to what he would normally do, he doesn't sound as polished, and it makes it come off a bit more genuine. In the studio and had a thought and decided to expound on it with a track.
You ain't looking at a nigga you could hold back. Like I'm trying to show the waves, this is no cap.
Oh, man. Oh, like I'm trying to show the waves, this is no cap. You so corny for that line, but it's kind of good. Like, I feel you, but like, shut up. I could never be the one that you could hold back. That's when you get into your pride a little bit too much, and you start making people feel like they're unnecessary and they're unneeded. But I don't need you. I have a really, really big problem relationship-wise trying to let people know you're not necessary. Not to say that I don't want you around, but just to say that my day is still going to be my day with or without you. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what he's trying to get across here. And I guess this is just an L that he's chalking up to the game, you know? It is what it is. There's another one tomorrow, you know what I'm saying?
I do it for the grams, not the gram. I do it for the fam, but still fucking uncles keep stealing my style. Now we out here matching. I did it by being myself with no.
Well, Drake, I mean, that is a little ironic to say you did it with no dramatic acting when you started as an actor.
This is not one of them stories that got 3 sides off and then you never wrote back.
Those last 3 bars were just like corn after corn after corn. I like the song though, but like, what did he say? Something about the wave cap again. You wrote me off, but never wrote back. He said something before that. I'm like, bro, like, stop. You keep going. Yeah, but Drake is pretty clear on this track. Don't know who he's talking about. But, like, again, if you're not in this wave, you're not going to like the track. And I don't think that's going to change. Track number 12 is From Florida with Love.
Niggas had they pistols loaded, pointed in my truck. On that day, I never touched a road without a plug. Hey, hasn't happened since, I guess you niggas know what's up.
Oh, yeah, that is crazy. I've yet to hear him talk about that robbery. I don't remember any of the details really about that. Like how it changed how he moves, and now it hasn't happened, so people should know that they know what's up. And I would assume he would be the last person you run up on, not because you think he's gonna dun you or something like that, but just because he probably protects himself now at this point. So, you know, that's always good to know. You can let people know I'm a threat, but I'm not trying to be a threat.
Why I be the gang and they not sustain anything. Turned up, piped up, plug. I'm back, baby, where the love?
You know, the rest of that track is kind of blurry, but honestly, this track is easily superior to More Life. It's superior to Views, or this project is superior to More Life, Views, a Scorpion, all of that. You know, I wouldn't put it as high as honestly, this thing is higher and more enjoyable than Thank Me Later. I would put it actually on par with what's that album? I put it closer to Nothing Was the Same. If you're reading This Is Too Late, you know, it's probably like, I feel like it was his best, but here, you know, I feel like he's just letting it out. You know, not really thinking about it too much. I think that, you know, some of these don't need to be, you know, as long as they are. That previous track, for instance, I think he got most of the points that he needed to get across off in the first verse, and that probably could have been it. It could have been an interlude. That's probably what that track could have been. Last track, because I've already heard War. I don't know why War is on this record. Demons featuring Fivio, and I think that says Sosa.
Host outside on 10, not like them. Make man lean out bends.
Is this his that one track Freestyle that he did?
Shark up on the water. I got shooters in New York.
I like the heavenly kind of little effect that they got on top of this track, despite the fact that it sounds a little grimy. It sounds a little drill. It don't sound like major drill, but it is a little drill influenced. Other than that, though, I don't really think the track does that much. But yeah, it's got like this ghostly heavenly effect to it, or this aura around it, even though it's kind of grimy. But yeah, I mean, nice track. I'm gonna listen to the War one more time just to see if there's any changes. But if not, then I'll give my last thoughts. Yeah, he kind of had like the little accent thing going on War. I wasn't messing with it like that. But yeah, this is Drake with Dark Lone Tape something. I forgot what it was called already. Easily more enjoyable than everything he's put out over the last 4 years actually, as far as projects go. This is much more enjoyable than everything else he's been putting out, mainly because it doesn't sound as calculated to me. It's not as refined. It's a little bit dirtier. It's a little bit more in the moment, it seems. These seem to be areas of Drake's brain or his thought process that were just captured briefly and not really trying to, create this entire album that's like 20 or 30 tracks almost, and trying to like, I guess, revolve around a particular sound. No dumbass B-sides record, where all he does is sing, and then an A-side record where all he does is rap. Here it seems like he took, elements that people would probably flock to and, decided to make vibes and little wavy tracks out of them. None of the tracks really seem to mean too much. A lot of them just capture Drake in some of his best bags, and I think he capitalizes off of that. I think he makes tracks that are a little bit more enjoyable. The features here don't really do much for me outside of maybe Young Thug and Future. I didn't need the Carti verse because it didn't add anything or any extra to the track. It actually it sapped some enjoyability away and some of the momentum that Drake had already given the track. So it just felt slow and grating after a point hearing his voice. Listening to the cut at the end or near the end with I think Fivio and Sosa wasn't terrible. I mean, they fit the vibe of the track. They carried the wave a little bit. Future on Desires is unnecessary. I didn't really need him like that. Thug, I think I would have liked for more personality to be shown on D4L. I think that's the track of that. That's the name of the track. As far as the rest of these cuts go, they're all enjoyable. I do think that these are probably some of Drake's better moments. Even if they were cleaned up, I think I would still like them a little bit. Chris Brown as a feature, I really would have loved to see him shine through a little bit more. Though I think Drake as a singer was actually able to carry it by himself and not need Chris Brown. So I do like the thought that, or the feeling that Drake felt confident enough in his own vocal capabilities to handle that track by himself, even with somebody like Chris Brown nearby. Yeah, those last cuts weren't it. I didn't think they were too crazy. But yeah, I mean, I like this album, or this little loosey thing. It sounds like a good compilation, much more enjoyable and tolerable and palatable and consumable than More Life. And I just think Drake is in his bag here. He captured some of his better moments and made songs out of them, not really trying to do too much. And it turned out pretty good, So this is something that I like. I'll definitely come back to this project, release a vinyl for it, please. And I'll probably cop. Like, this is nice. I think I'll come back to quite a few of these. So Drake with whatever this tape is called. Thank y'all for watching. I'll see you in the next one, and I am out. Peace. Okay?